So your cycle and exercise. So this hits super close to home for me. If you have followed my journey or if we've like talked, I have had a hell of a struggle with my cycle and exercise and food and everything. So I share this from the education that I've learned, the education I'm continuing to learn, what I've implemented into my life and am continuing to do. I think that this education in this area is super fresh. There's not enough research. It's still being done, I mean, constantly. And like just women in general are starting to become paid attention to and like more researched, which is really cool. But I don't think like nearly enough for what we should be as the mother nature mothers of this earth. We should have much more information. So I'm going to share what I know so far. There's probably so many pieces that I don't know. I'm not going to pretend like I know everything, but hopefully you can gain something from this, as it has helped me a ton. So your cycle and exercise. Let's first talk about the different phases of our cycle. So we have four phases. We have menstruation, days 1 through 5. We have the follicular phase, days 6 through 14. Ovulation, which is 15 through 19, and then the luteal phase, which is 20 through 28. Some of these days they might change. This is kind of generically what I've found on the internet. Sometimes it's like 1 through 4, 5 through 13. It might change, but we're just going to say these are the days for now. So we have four different phases in the menstrual cycle that we go through every single month as long as we are in actually like a regular menstrual cycle. I was not in a menstrual cycle for almost 4 years. I didn't have any of this. My hormones, they were not going up and down like they are supposed to. So what I've now learned in being in it again is holy moly, you can really like shift your life, your nutrition, your exercise, which is what we're talking about most today, based on where you're at in your cycle. And it doesn't need to suck. Like your life doesn't need to suck. You don't need to put things on the back burner when you're in certain phases, which is really cool. The other piece I'm going to talk about and just touch on is menopause. Um, Doing this specifically because I do have a clients who are in menopause, and I know they would appreciate it. I also know that we are all women and we are going to get there if we're not there already. So it is helpful to learn about it. But I am no master in menopause, not going to say that either. So, first phase is our menstruation phase. This is the bleed. So, what happens here? Our estrogen and progesterone levels they drop, telling our uterus to shed. How yummy does that sound? Being a woman, so gorgeous. It's telling us to shed that uterine lining. During this phase, you already know this, but you're probably going to feel more tired physically, mentally as well before and during menstruation. You also will notice like your pain sensitivity, it might go up a little bit if you have chronic injuries like back pain, which, majority of the world, it seems like we have back pain. So as women, you get, oh, my back is hurting a little bit more. It might not only be from the chronic pain or injuries that you have, but also the fact that everything is kind of right there. Your uterus is right there. It's not just in a single area, but it's going to affect the organs and the bones and the muscles that are surrounding it. In this phase, the best thing you can do is honor your body. Truly honor your body. This is not a place to say, just do it, just push through. Slow down your pace. And I think in, again, our society, a very masculine society, a very man's world, we've just been told for so long, like, just do it. Like, what do you mean? Just keep going. And I told myself that for 4 years. Just keep going. You can exercise twice a day. You don't have to eat that much. You don't need to like give in to these cravings. But honestly, the best thing you can do and what's going to help you with actually sinking into your cycle and being able to follow through on exercise is listen to it. This doesn't mean completely stepping away from the gym. Movement can be very, very helpful. It just might mean, instead of lifting heavy, same program. You all have a program. Some of you have personalized ones, but lift lighter. So if usually, you're benching, let's say like 35s, maybe this day it's 30s, maybe it's 25s. This is really like learning how to feel into your body. Yoga might be a better option. Doing Pilates, doing embodied dancing, like really getting into that feminine because you're in that phase. You are bleeding, you are a woman, or going on walks, bike rides, skating. I also want to say here is this is very generic. Like you might not feel super tired. You might not feel like you need to slow down your pace. I know me personally, it's more like leading up to my menstruation that I'm like, fucking exhausted, mind my language, but I'm so tired. And that's usually when I start to slow down. And then when I'm actually menstruating, I'm like, you know what? I kind of feel like I could work out. And like my lifts, they might not be that much lighter. So this is kind of a framework. This isn't like you must follow it because, again, our bodies are also different. So keep that in mind. The next phase is your follicular phase. So what happens here? Our estrogen, it rises back up because we're trying to thicken things up again. We just shed it and we want to thicken it. Estrogen, you've probably heard as like the female hormone. Men also have this hormone, just like we also have testosterone, but we have much more estrogen than men. And it is that hormone that is like empowering and like femininizing. That's not even a word, but like it makes us feel good. It makes us feel like empowered in our bodies. When this happens, oops, I did that wrong. Your energy starts to go up and you feel strong. The other hormone that comes in is the follicular stimulating hormone. This is to prepare us for ovulation. It's stimulating the ovaries. In this time, yes, prioritize your heavy lifts. Go to the gym, go for your PR. You can also, like, when you're tracking your whole cycle, schedule important things. So if you have like presentations or meetings or like uncomfortable conversations, schedule those around here if you can, when you are in your follicular, when you are feeling empowered. I know when I'm in my follicular phase, I'm literally like, don't even look at me at the gym. Like I can deadlift so freaking much right now. I am on another level. It's funny. It's funny to be able to look at and like really just track myself and see how I change. Going on vacations, going on trips into nature, like road trips, dates, things like that. Do that around your follicular phase. And if you're like, oh my God, how am I ever supposed to know when I'm in these different phases of my period? I will get to that at the end. There's many different tracking systems and apps that I'll show you. But yeah, this is the phase you really want to like utilize so much of your strength during. Same goes for ovulation. The only difference here is you're going to just get more estrogen. So you're going to feel even more better. Your brain also releases the luteinizing hormone and your follicular stimulating hormone, it continues to go up. In this phase, you have the highest energy and you also have a higher libido. So it makes sense. Your egg is releasing. You feel like you want to have more sex. The body, the female body is literally like, let's make a baby. This is also a good time to be safe with sex if you don't want to make a baby. But you can start to feel into this more like, oh, wow, like where can I kind of like put that energy into if you are feeling more sensual. Maybe it's heavier lifting. Maybe it's high intensity workouts, going and having fun. It could be doing like a Zumba class, kickboxing, running, rowing, things like that. You also, during this phase, I know I make it sound super exciting, but you also might experience some pain. You might experience some bloating as the egg releases. This is normal. I know this is my normal. But again, like knowing that you have different phases that you're moving through, you don't need to attach to that. You don't need to be like, oh no, I'm feeling bloated. I can't do anything. It's temporary and it will pass. Try to lean into, like what's the energy actually like in your body. And now the last phase, so the luteal phase, I look at this phase now as like, ugh, I don't like it. It doesn't feel good. This is when our estrogen and drops and our progesterone increases because we're preparing to bleed again. Your follicle releases the egg and it turns into that corpus luteum. So there's a lot going on in here. We might feel some cramping. We might feel some mood swings. This is usually like PMS, premenstrual syndrome, and our emotions are just like kind of all over the place. The best thing that I've learned here is truly to honor yourself. Honor yourself in so many different ways, not only physically. I know I'm talking a lot about exercise, but like cravings. Why do we crave chocolate when we're in our luteal phase? Why do women crave chocolate? Because chocolate, the flavonoids in chocolate, actually help us with the inflammation going on in our body. So when you crave chocolate, if you're saying, oh, no, I shouldn't be craving chocolate, like, oh, I'm trying to be healthy and like battling maybe that relationship with food, actually, it's really good for you to eat chocolate. It might be super helpful to eat chocolate and to slow down and to recover, to do massages, to roll out, try gentle yin, yoga, tai chi, swimming, water aerobics. I also want to say, you don't have to stop lifting just because, I'm mentioning a lot of very gentle things and you might have low energy. This could also look different because, again, our bodies are all at different kind of phases and strength. For myself, I still lift during my luteal phase. There might be like 1 or 2 days where I'm like, you know what? F that. No, I'm just going to walk on the treadmill. But for the most part, you can meet your body where it's at. If you're strong, if you're used to lifting, strong physically, you're all strong. But you don't have to stop it completely. Now, menopause. So, touching on this, honestly, quite briefly, because I'm still learning a lot about it. But this, just to mention it, it happens in our early 40s, mid 50s. We're all going to get here if we're not here already. What happens with our hormones is our body produces way less estrogen and progesterone, and FSH and LH, it starts to go up. So, there's a lot going on. It's like, whoa, what is going on? My hormones are super irregular. I might get a period. I might not. Oh, I'm like really horny. Oh, now my vagina's dry. Oh, hot flashes. Like so much happening. So many like night sweats, hot flashes. This is going to happen to all of us. And it gives, I think, a lot of empathy for me to look at the women in my life who have it, to just do the research and see, like, holy shit, this is what your body is going through. Give yourself so much grace as you're going through that. And when it comes to exercise, exercise helps. So making sure you're still moving your body, you're still getting those endorphins by at least working out at a moderate intensity, like 150 minutes a week. That's what they suggest. Strength training, very important for bone health. Strength training is not just for our muscles, but it is also for our bones. And pelvic floor strengthening. So doing things like bridges, like Kegels. We should all be doing Kegels, more yoga, more core work. And then getting a program from a coach, if you don't have a coach, that's going to give you something that's sustainable long term, something that's not up and down, but since your hormones are doing that, what's something that's going to be more sustainable and allow you to feel like you have some balance in this potential imbalance of everything going on. Now, tracking. So, like I said before, there's a few different things you can use for tracking. I'm only putting on here things that I've used or been suggested by other people. So I use Flow. It's free. It's an app. I go in there and I just put in every time I have my period. It tells me when I'm ovulating. It tells me, oh, you might feel like this right now in your luteal phase. And if it matches, I kind of like check it off and I'm like, yeah, you're right. I do feel that way. Another one is the Aura Ring. This I don't have, but I've been recommended by, seems like literally everyone on the internet. All of my coach friends, all of my friends are like, I want to get an Aura Ring. So this is the only thing that I would say do it, even though I haven't done it yet. Yet it's a 2025 goal for me. And then there's temperature tracking apps. So if you're someone who is maybe looking to conceive, I've heard that the temperature tracking can be some of the best things that you can do for actually figuring out when you're ovulating, when you're in that phase of your cycle. It also might be helpful if you're like really trying not to conceive and you want to know, like, okay, I am super fertile today, so I'm going to stay away from my partner. These are a few different options. I don't have a specific app, but I know there are some that are helpful. And that's it. That's all I have for today. Any questions from you ladies? Comments? Concerns? Nothing? No? Okay. Well, super easy. This is recorded. I do highly suggest like watching again if you are new to learning about your period, about your cycle. The more information, the better. And like, if you have information too that you want to share, if you come across it, share it in the group. We are all women. We are all experiencing things in a similar way. There is, again, like so much more education and knowledge on hormones and cycles and exercising to be learned. And I'm excited to just like keep learning it and sharing it. But yeah, I guess that's where we're at. Our next call is next Wednesday, same time. And then we have one more call after that, and it's going to be yoga, and I'll be announcing the challenge winner. So keep showing up at the challenge, keep doing your tasks. They are going to get less like dewy and more BE, more internal stuff. You'll see if you look through them. Yeah, if you have any questions ever, let me know. Thank you so much, lovely ladies. I'll see you soon. Bye.